Chapter 993. When Matt Rich saw that Alex was showing his affection for Emma by holding her hand, he felt very gratified for his good brother. Therefore, he hurriedly poured another glass of wine for Alex before he said, "Come, my dear brother Alex, let me offer a toast to you too. I hope that both of you will be able to have a better and even more loving relationship. I wish for both of you to have a child soon." Emma started blushing all of a sudden, and she felt very embarrassed when she heard Matt Rich asking them to have a child soon. Alex smiled before he said, "Thank you, brother. I will definitely work hard." Emma felt even more embarrassed at this time. She continued holding Alex's hand with one hand before she placed one hand under the table as she pinched Alex's inner thigh. Alex winced in pain, but he did not dare to scream out loud. So, he hurriedly picked up his wine glass before he said to Matt Rich, "Come, let's drink this glass of wine together." After drinking the glass of wine, Alex suddenly recalled that Matt Rich was working in Manchester at this time. He asked, "By the way, Matt Rich, which company are you working for in Manchester now? What kind of industry are you in? What's your position in the company?" Matt Rich explained, "I work at a company specializing in the production of lighting equipment and devices in Manchester. I am a sales executive and my company is owned by Tyler Group." Tyler Group? Alex frowned before he asked. "The boss of Tyler Group should be Chris Tyler, the richest man in Manchester, right?" Matt Rich nodded before he smiled and asked, "You know who Chris Tyler is too?" Alex smiled before he said, "Not only do I know who he is, but I've also met him before." "Really?" Matt Rich said in surprise. "Chairman Tyler is always very secretive and mysterious in his movements and whereabouts. Only people from the main group headquarters have ever had the opportunity to meet him. People from the smaller companies like us have no opportunity to meet with Chairman Tyler at all. Chris was basically a sovereign king in Manchester. He had many companies and industries under his name. The lighting equipment and devices company that Matt Rich was working at was actually just a small industry under Chris. Aside from Matt Rich, even the person in charge of the company only had the opportunity to meet Chris a couple of times. Therefore, Matt Rich was very shocked and curious when he heard that Alex had met up with Chris before. He asked, "Alex, how did you meet our Chairman Tyler?" Alex smiled before he said, "A friend of mine hosted a gathering and I attended the gathering. I happened to see him at the gathering too." The first time that Alex had ever seen Chris was when Faria invited him to take a look at a piece of jade. At that time, Chris was also interested in the piece of jade. He had even brought a master along with him to help him to take a look at the jade. As a result, Alex had helped him expose the fake master who was nothing more than a scammer. After that, when Alex struck Gary Depp to death with thunder and lightning, Chris was also there. Although he did not have a strong friendship with him, Chris had always treated Alex with respect. After all, he was the supreme leader in the metaphysics circle. Since Matt Rich was working in a company owned by Chris, Alex could speak up for him to help his friend. So, Alex told Matt Rich, "Well, let me give Chris a call and ask him if he could arrange for a new job and position for you." "What? You know Chairman Tyler personally?" Matt Rich asked as he looked at Alex in shock. He had initially thought that Alex simply had the opportunity to meet up with Chris at the gathering, but both of them did not have any chances to build up a relationship or connect with each other. It wasn't that he despised or looked down on his own brother. The main point was that Chris was simply a very noble man. After all, he was the richest man in Manchester. In Matrich's opinion, Chris was simply an eminent and unapproachable figure. The other people were also shocked when they heard Alex's words. All of them had heard of Chris Tyler, the richest man in Manchester. Even though he was not as powerful as the Adair family was, he was still a very rich and wealthy man with a net worth of tens of billions of dollars. They really did not expect Alex to be acquainted with such a powerful and influential man.